Question. Hello, Kim. I have some feeling when I heard a verse, ascension in this lifetime. Then I thought, is it my path to ascend in this lifetime? But looking at myself at 35 years old, I still have many unresolved psychology, and I'm just a man living a simple life. I still have human struggle. Does ascension have to do some great work like being a teacher, messenger, or leader of spiritual movements like Elizabeth Clare Prophet? Well, the simple question is no. The ascension is a very individual process, and it doesn't necessarily require you to do anything noteworthy in the physical here on earth. What it does require of all of us is the resolution of psychology, which is an inner thing. And quite frankly, if you're 35 years old, you potentially have a lot of time left to resolve psychology, and who knows how much you have left, because you could have resolved some in past lifetimes. I would say it this way. If you have a strong intuitive reaction to the idea of ascending after this lifetime, it's because you have that potential and you incorporated that in your life plan before you came into this lifetime. Otherwise, you wouldn't even react to it. It would just be a theoretical concept, or you would barely even notice it. You would just sort of brush it aside. So if you have a strong reaction, I would definitely approach it the way that you have the potential to qualify for your ascension. You can always choose to come back into embodiment if you want to help Saint Germain's golden age, but make an effort to qualify. And it's just, for me, from my own experience, it's just amazing how much psychology you can overcome if you really make an effort and really open yourself up to looking at the psychology and using whatever tools are available. The many forms of therapy, I would always recommend using whatever is available to you, whatever resonates with you. But obviously, the teachings of the Ascended Masters are all geared towards this, helping people qualify for their ascension by resolving psychology. So I would start there. Look at my playlists about the breakthroughs. I have several where I talk about psychology. I have the whole Avatar Psychology playlist where I also talk about this. And start using some of the decrees, experimenting with that, and then see where that takes you. You may at some point feel that you need to go into therapy with a therapist that can help you get give you more direct feedback on certain issues. But there are so many things you can do that it's definitely not hopeless. I mean, I would say, 35 years old, you have a lot of time left, but I wouldn't give up at any age, because at any age we can do something to resolve psychology. And for many people, it could be there's just one or two things that you need to see in order to qualify for your ascension. Does the ascension have to do some great work, like being a teacher, messenger, or leader of a spiritual movement like Elizabeth Clare Prophet? No, absolutely not. I mean, it obviously isn't for everybody. So not everybody needs to have some big public mission. And there's actually a danger in there's a danger in looking at Ascended Masters in their past lifetimes. For example, in the Summit Lighthouse, Elizabeth Clare Prophet's movement, there was a lot of talk about the embodiments of Ascended Masters, what they had done in some of their last lifetimes. And many of these embodiments were that they were prominent people in their past lifetime, like Saint Germain was embodied as Francis Bacon and Roger Bacon, and then had other embodiments in the distant past. Certain other Ascended Masters were also famous people in past lifetimes. And naturally, there are many, many people who have the potential to ascend. The Masters have talked about there are 10,000 people who have the potential to manifest full Christhood in this lifetime. If you manifest full Christhood, you have the option to ascend. You can choose not to if you want to stay in embodiment, but you have the option to ascend. And all of those 10,000 people don't need to be famous and do something groundbreaking in the world. Obviously that's not necessary. But what they all need to do is resolve the psychology that keeps you tied to Earth so that you can't leave the Earth behind. It's like Jesus said, the Prince of this world cometh and has nothing in me. It's the image I've talked about several times. Gautama Buddha was sitting under a tree, and the demons of Mar were attempting to tempt him into reacting to them. So there was something he hadn't finished on Earth, something he couldn't let go of. And when you are ascending, you are standing there, metaphorically speaking, there's a gate, you walk through it and you have ascended. But before you can walk through, you have to look at Earth. And if there's anything that pulls you back here, anything unfinished, anything you can't let go of, then you are not ready to ascend. So this is really what it requires. You know, I've talked about it before in several videos. The ascension is an absolutely final step. You're not going to halfway ascend. It's absolutely not going to happen. You know, in order to ascend, you are leaving the Earth behind permanently, totally. Everything on Earth you're leaving behind. There's nothing here that you can come back and finish later. It's all or nothing. And you have to get to a point in your psychology where there's nothing on Earth that pulls on you. And you can certainly work on that. And for many people, it may be that you have made a lot of progress in past lifetimes. There are just a few things you need to see, a few things you need to let go of. For other people like myself, we can have a lot of things we need to let go of in the psychology. But I can guarantee you, we can work through it. If it is in our divine plan that we can qualify for our ascension in this lifetime, it's because we made a realistic assessment that we could work through the psychology. So I would say, get on with it. Use all the tools available if you have a strong feeling that this is part of your life plan. Don't let anything stand in your way or slow you down. It really is a matter of making this your main priority in life to qualify for your ascension. And then everything else revolves around that.